what advice you have for people that want to learn? Because you self-taught. That's very impressive, by the way.
Thank you. So I always tell developers upcoming and don't give up 100% because I've met developers that they do it for they have a goal, right? They want to make money, they want to get a job. So they go into software development because they probably hear that developers are paid 100K a year and they're being paid well, right? So their dream is just to work at Google or some of this or these other companies, but they don't tend to develop themselves.
I'd like to welcome you to the Corner Office Chronicles podcast. My name is Byron Benton, affectionately known as Byron the Product Enthusiast. This is dedicated to product management and entrepreneurship. So please, lend an ear, perhaps two. Tune into today's episode.
100%.
All right, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the Corner Office Chronicles podcast. My name is Byron Benton, and I am your host. Today, I have a great, extremely great. Give me a word that's better than great, and that's what how I would identify him with. He has written some great code, created some great things, and it's an honor to speak with him today. So I would like to introduce the great Emmanuel. How are you doing today, sir?
Hello, Byron. I'm good.
All right.
How are
All
you? How
right.
are you today?
I'm good. Thank you for joining. I really appreciate this. Um,
Yeah, thank you.
how long have you been into development? What got you started?
So I've been into development for like roughly 10 years plus now. And I started as a designer. I started with basically Photoshop, and that was probably when I was still in like high school. And what really triggered my taste for programming was the fact that I saw there was this application that came out some time back called Blender. It was an amazing software. So I went to Blender, I joined the Blender community, and it was just so awesome what the software could do. And I'm a big fan of sci-fi movies.
Hmm.
So, and in any sci-fi movies, you really see them with green screen and they're always pressing the laptop and typing stuff. And that really intrigued me to see the power of what I could create with code, right? So I went into normal web development with HTML, CSS, and then from there spiral into backend, and I was able to build some very amazing applications on the whole journey. But yeah, it's been an amazing
Wow. So
time
you
so
went through
far.
the full thing. Blender don't game developers use that to create?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. So
And
you
I've
know?
I've developed a game before with Blender before. So
Oh wow, wow, wow. So
yeah.
do you still create games now?
No, I just focus more on the art of the art basically, just the art aspect
Okay.
and programming. Yeah.
So would you say that's your love right now, programming and
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
okay,
Because of
okay.
because of how much I think about how my software, my applications could touch lives, not thousands, but millions of lives, and how it could basically impact the dynamics of the way people live and way people basically affect lives basically. So yeah,
So you full
100%.
stack? Full
Yeah,
stack
I'm full
development.
stack.
Okay.
Yeah,
How long
full stack.
does it take to learn something like full stack development? I don't know how to develop, but I think that I would like to learn a little bit about it. And I've touched on the surface of it, but it seems like it goes deep.
Yeah, so I always like this saying, right? That if you want to learn to be a full stack developer, it's just like building a house, right? You have to start from the foundation.
Mm,
And the foundation is picking up a stack,
mm.
right? Stack is basically the language, the programming language you want to go with. Is it JavaScript? Is it Python? Is it Go, right? Just pick any programming language that fits and suits you, right? For me, for people wanting to learn, I don't know. I'm just a preference. My preference is JavaScript, right? So although it's pretty very people have different ideas to how which language we should basically go with. Is it Java or thereabout? But for me, I feel JavaScript is very friendly and it's easier to learn. It's very easy to learn because it has a wide range of applications.
Okay.
So yeah,
Okay.
so just
So,
let okay, wait a minute. I'm
well,
with you.
well
I'm with you.
I'm sorry. What we about to say? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Okay, so I was saying that after learning the basics of JavaScript, the next thing to do is, as I said, it's just like building for example, a house or a restaurant. And I like the idea of restaurant because it's really intriguing. And I tell people this 100%. I use the saying, this little story. If you want to build a restaurant, what's the first thing you do? Is that you scope the area, right?
Hmm.
You lay the foundation, you scope the area to see the potential users in that particular area, right?
Hmm.
Or basically people that are going to patronize your business. And then you set up the building, the structure. So the beautiful layout of how the structure is the front end. And I always tell people this.
Yeah.
How beautiful your restaurant, how attractive it is the front end.
Yeah.
Then the dish that's been served, the meals that have been served is the back end. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's actually
I spoke with an architect one time. He actually developed buildings, and it's almost followed the same process that it takes for software development. When you mentioned the planning and starting from the basics, pretty much the same
yeah,
thing. So
yeah.
I think that's cool. What's the specific moment that you realized that was what you wanted to do? Because you start off as design, then you became full stack. At what point did you say, make that switch? Yeah.
Okay. So there was a time, yeah, there was a time I was basically building 3D models and stuff. And it got to a point where I was not enough. I was not satisfied with what I was producing. I was producing real good designs and literally how I will put it. I got clients. I got clients abroad through Fiverr. I was making a lot of money, but I was still not satisfied because just the software alone, somebody built that software I'm currently using with codes. Then I felt there was more I could do to it.
Mm.
I could actually extend the software because I studied microbiology
Mm.
as my
Ah.
major when I was in college. Studied microbiology, so it's a different area. And what really sparked my what really actually also sparked my curiosity was the fact that I saw how Blender was used for microbiology,
Mm.
and that extensivity was done via code.
Mm.
To extend the use of Blender to microbiology was done via code. So I felt there's so much I could do with code, apart from just designing 3D models with Blender, right? And
Mm.
that one of the things that actually helped me out. And I felt, okay, yeah, I think I want to learn this thing, right?
Okay.
And I got a lot of encouragements from the community out there. There are a lot of communities that really help you out if you want to start up. You want to start on these languages. There are a lot of good communities out there that could basically help guide you. And yeah, that's
Okay.
that's the story.
Okay. So if you went to school for biology, how did you end up going back to school to code? Did you learn yourself? Did you get a mentor or how did you learn?
So I'm a self-learner. I believe anything you want to learn is out
Uh,
there.
wow.
One of the things that really helped me out was Udemy. I took some courses on Udemy and I tried to sort out any possible means to get some certifications. So because I'm in Africa, there are a lot of scholarship and sponsorship, right, for some of these courses like Google
Mhm.
courses and everything. And I was able to take some of those courses, and that really helped me out to the point where I am right now today.
Okay. So explain clean code versus spaghetti code. Have you had your share of dealing with, of the developers that write spaghetti code? Does it happen a lot? What's your definition of clean code?
All right. So there's just one definition of clean code, which is called dry. It's
Mhm.
called a dry method.
Mhm.
Don't repeat yourself. 100%. Once you repeat yourself, you're going to see yourself rewriting the same code over and over and over again. So
Okay.
the idea of components brings out the beauty of the code.
Mhm.
Single, that's what we talk about single responsibility, right?
Mhm.
Single responsibility, a code should be able to do just one thing and one thing alone.
Mhm.
And components, just try to see if you could build components. Yeah. basically.
Okay, and what's spaghetti code in your words?
Codes that literally can, like for example, imagine one of the spaghetti code I can say is a nested if statement. You have a nested if, a if statement inside an if statement inside an if statement. That's actually a spaghetti code. There's no need to do that anymore. Yeah.
Do you run across that a lot?
Yeah, 100% for with newbies. This basically just trying to start their careers.
Okay.
100% direct spaghetti code.
How do how do how do
100%.
how would the developer untangle that? Is it more work to untangle that than it is to write the code yourself, untangling someone else's code?
So for that, I always tell people, I always tell developers to, or encourage developers to look at what they have as um how they look at their code literally. So if I remember the code I wrote 7 years ago, I laugh because I wrote spaghetti code, a lot of it, right? So yeah, over time, the best thing to do is after you've written a code, go back and review the code and see how you can make it better. That's
Ah,
how to help eliminate. That will help you eliminate spaghetti codes,
okay.
100%.
So spaghetti code is gonna turn into bugs and defects and things like that.
100, yeah, 100%, 100%.
Okay.
Write codes that are not useful. Yeah,
Okay.
they
Okay.
don't do anything.
Okay. Okay. How do you balance fast shipping with writing great code? What's
Okay.
what if you had to weigh it out? I mean, we want to fit we want to ship fast. We also want to create some usable code, like you say. How do we balance that? Which one
I will
is more
balance
important
it.
to you?
All right. So they are different in terms of work ethics.
Hmm.
So if you work in an organization that wants to ship codes faster or features faster, and you don't have proper time to test the code, 100% there'll be bugs.
Hmm.
Yeah. So it's a trade-off. Shipping faster versus writing clean code,
Okay. Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So the best way to create a balance is create automated systems. Like for example, there are tools out there to help check if your code is a clean code. For example, I think there's a software called not Sentry. Sentry just simply checks for bugs. If someone hits a bug, there's another software called SonarQube. Yeah, that's the name of the software, SonarQube. So it tests the quality of your code while
Hmm.
you're shipping codes. Yeah.
Wow.
So
Wow.
if the quality of the code fails, your code won't, it won't ship your codes.
Wow.
So yeah.
Wow. Wow. So I didn't know they had those type of environments because I was about to say a QA testing environment. How important do you think a QA testing environment is? Because now you mentioned some tools that use software, which may even be more helpful than maybe QA testers. What do you think?
Yeah, so QA testers are 100% important,
Hmm.
right? But this particular, since the company wants to do a trade-off between shipping codes faster or features faster, so writing your codes and allowing the system to test the codes for you is one way to catch bugs.
Hmm.
But there's some bugs that can still slip through
Yeah.
this particular application. So
Yeah.
that's where the QA test is coming to test the
Okay.
functionalities of yeah.
Okay. And that brings me to another question. Now we're talking about tools. How do you think AI will, because I'm not sure if some of the tools that you mentioned use AI, but how do you think AI will help change the landscape of QA testing and just finding bugs and things of that nature?
Right. So AI, the topic of AI is a very sensitive one because most developers have seen videos on YouTube and read articles of how AI will replace jobs, right? But AI is actually just a tool. Even for developers, AI is just a tool that helps you to build codes faster, right? Build features faster. And also for the area of QA testing, QA testers use softwares too. Like, for example, they use I think I don't know which software, like, give me a second. Let me just think of the software they use for QA testing. There's this very popular software. Come on, let me just check this out. Forgotten the name, but it's very popular. Sorry, a minute, please. Yes, so they use Selenium, thank you. They use and Cypress, that's what I'm looking for.
No.
So use tools like Selenium and Cypress to test.
Wow.
And these tools are basically you writing automated tests, and these tests are checking out the whole features based on what you've specified. But with the advent of AI could just simply write a prompt for what AI should basically do. And AI will just simply take over the softwares and run the tests. So it's basically just a tool that helps you out. Yeah.
Wow. So it does a great job.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh
Not really
wow.
100, let's say 80%.
Oh wow, wow, wow. That's most better than most. Right?
Yeah.
So what about AI in general? How do you think it's gonna you said it's well, because I think it may take some jobs, maybe not all jobs, but if there's like 100 developers, maybe it might take half of them. That's what I think. What do you think? How do you think AI will change the game for, let's say, product management, creating products, digital products, and software development? You know.
Okay, yeah. So as I earlier said, AI is just going to be a tool literally for everybody to use.
Mm,
But the aspect of it taking over jobs, it's only jobs that literally have no use. For example, just think about in a manufacturing process where you have someone you have a whole process line, and then you have someone that picks up the package from the conveyor belt and drops that package into a bucket.
mm,
Imagine that's just the role of the person.
mm,
AI will definitely fling the person out of his job, right?
mm,
The person will definitely lose his job the first day, and AI is designed to eliminate that process, right? To
mm,
take over that process. So
yeah,
processes that are literally not jobs that are literally not in demand and can be physically people can actually do away with, right?
mm,
They can do away with it basically. So some of those most kind of jobs are what you say AI could take over. But for product design, management, nah. It's
mm.
just basically a tool for us to just use,
All right, well, that's
yeah,
good news
to
then.
build.
So we guaranteed,
Yeah.
it's what do you think?
Yeah, yeah,
What do you think about low code, no code? I recently met people and they're saying that's all the rage now, low code, no code, and I actually looked into that one time. I just wanted to find out more about it. And then they were saying, oh, you had to pay some sort of license, and that was gonna be like $20,000. And I was like, man, well, that defeats the purpose. You might as well get you some engineers, and that's what I thought about it. But what's your take on no code, low code?
Okay, so local local is an amazing development these days because I've seen some lot of good tools, good no code local tools that are
Mm,
used to build both web and mobile apps.
mm,
Yeah. But the problem we'll have is the fact that it's limited. The limitation is based on the platform,
mm,
right? For example, you have a scope that you want to design, you have like a feature you want to build, and there's a kind of interaction you want, right? Behavior you basically want. To manipulate that with no code, low code would be very, very tedious and cumbersome because you're limited to the tools the platform avails to you. So it's an amazing system for you to build and preview your applications, right? But for production ready, you can still do some production ready applications, but not a very well scoped application. Probably just a small scale application could be shipped. Yeah.
okay.
So it's good for your MVP. It's good for
Okay.
MVP.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
because then you have to get the code, like the bugs and stuff. I mean, I don't even know if it gives bugs
Yeah.
because they're engineers on the back end. So I spoke with this guy from India one time, and he said that in places like India, they're starting to offer training and things of that nature. Have you ever thought about maybe
Yeah.
getting some training on no code, low code, and
Actually, I
apparently they have
have
engineers who are no code, low code
no
engineers.
code, low code. Yeah, 100%. So I've actually dived into no code, low code before that was like 3 years ago.
Mhm.
And it was awesome. There was a platform called for backend. It's like backend as a service. It's called Directual. Is it Directual? Yeah, Directual. It's a very lovely application. It was built by a Russian called Pavel, and it is a very lovely backend tool. All right. So it stores the database. You can perform some crude applications, some crude operations and stuff. Really lovely tool. So yeah, there are a lot of tools out there that I would really love to learn, most especially for mobile development. They're very lovely ones these days that even incorporates AI to help you building your interface. So you
Wow.
don't
Yeah.
have to think about, yeah, the complexity of creating pixel perfect the designs, but yeah,
Yeah. 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 Hey,
100%. And it's for some people it's cheaper
yeah.
because if you weigh the cost of developers these days to hire a developer to do a job for you, could be in the range of thousands of dollars, right, to hundreds. But working but working with ordinary local tools could be cost effective for you.
Yeah. But I think
Yeah.
they might have their watermark on it or something like that. If you don't pay the
Ye-
extra money.
Yeah, yeah, for some extra features, right? But it's considerably cheaper compared to hiring a developer to build it for you.
Oh,
Because
that's
you have to
true.
think about the different, yeah, the theatrics of it, the different aspects. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It ought to be interesting. It was very exciting to see what happens. Speaking of some of the future developments, we last time I spoke with you, we spoke about some of the recent developments in technology, or AI agents. How how far do you think that'll go? Taking customer service.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, so AI agents are a new thing. I've tried to look at it. I've not really gotten full scope on how it works yet. I know I took a course on natural processing, AI, natural processing language and stuff. And yeah, it was I'm still trying to get the hang of it, but it's just super amazing. It's just a new concept that's blowing my mind every time I get to see it. So yeah, I think there'll be more of AI agents, but the trend might switch over time because AI has been on the rise since for what 2 years now, roughly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. I don't think it's gonna
different
slow down either.
products.
I don't think it's gonna slow
Yeah,
down either.
100%. Have you seen Sora before?
Tell me about it.
Sora is an AI generator for videos.
Oh.
So most of the time nowadays, people no longer create. We need to buy or build a studio. Just use Sora to create the environment.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So it's a
Wow.
very powerful. It's built by OpenAI. It's a
Uh,
very amazing software. You can check out the reviews on the website. It's super amazing.
I need to try that. It just make the video for you. And it just makes
Yeah.
the video, it'll make the video for you, the background, everything.
Yes. From your prompt. Yes.
The
It will create
editing.
even the characters. Even the characters.
Wow. Do you think video games could be the same way eventually?
Yes, over time, I think, but there's still some bit of. Can you remember how AI used to be in the past few years with
Hmm.
pictures, where you
Hmm.
see some weird hands, where you see someone pops out from nowhere into a
Yeah.
video and
Uh-huh.
then disappears?
Uh-huh.
Nowadays, things have changed. You have better video quality creations and picture quality creations now, where it just tries to simulate real physical like how objects behave in real life, and it's amazing. It's super
Wow.
amazing.
Wow. I looking forward to some of the tools that you mentioned today.
Yeah.
What uh what about repositories? What do you use? You ever use GitHub before? What do you think about
Yep, I use GitHub. I use Bitbucket.
it?
They're amazing tools, very amazing tools, and they keep updating, creating different tools these days. But the biggest actually GitHub. They have a very large repository of codes, all right, and it's very popular because I think Bitbucket has some restrictions, but GitHub is really very, very popular because of you could get different free codes like just to look at, right? and
Yeah.
review. Just in case you're stuck, you have a resource out there. Use GitHub. And the fact that you could host your web page on GitHub also makes it amazing too. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Speaking of GitHub, for the people that don't know, in your opinion, what's the definition of open source code?
So open source means it's free,
Mhm.
right? Open from the word open means it's free. It's open for you to edit. So you could get a software that's open source, edit the software, and make it your own software and sell it.
Hmm. Oh wow.
So
Wow.
yeah, yeah,
That's something. That's something. That's
yeah,
something. Yeah, I like GitHub. Still getting into that taught me a little bit about developing, but I, I
yeah.
I've yet to get on your level. That's gonna take a lot of years, a lot of AI assistance and everything else to get where you are. You're a master of your craft. So with that being said, um, have you ever failed or did you learn from failing? Most people learn from failing. At the beginning, did you,
Ah,
did you fail? Did you
yeah.
did you create some spaghetti code?
Yeah, I did. 100% I did. I think I mentioned some time back to some developers and some of my mentees actually, that I once flopped on Google's Firebase, all right?
Oh,
Account where I racked up to $10,000, I think.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's what you told me.
overnight. I had to send a mail, and it was a company account. I had to send a mail to Google to please help me release or remove that, or clear the bill for me, because I wrote a cloud function that kept repeating. Anytime you click on it, it like fires like 10 calls or 15 calls. And it was really, really expensive. So
Yeah,
yeah, I have written spaghetti code. I failed. I've learned from it
yeah.
100%.
And for the people that don't know what a call means, basically, write, right? It's the function called
Yeah,
call.
yeah, like read
Okay,
or to write. That calls, yeah.
okay. Where do you see software
Yeah.
development heading in the next 5 to 10 years? Is it going to change even more? Maybe a new language might come
Yeah,
out. What do you think? Because it seems like it's about
they are
prompts
always
now. A lot of times with ChatGPT, which is that the new code? You think prompt writing will be the new code? Maybe ChatGPT or something.
yeah. So for software engineering, I see more prompt engineers these days coming up.
Okay.
So yeah, so have more of what they call prompt engineers that are just especially the specialty is basically just write prompts, AI prompts that produces the code for you and then refine those codes, right?
Hmm.
And for software engineering in general, I still see AI as a tool. Languages will always come and go, 100%. There are new languages every day, or like say every month. You get to see new languages. Somebody's working on something, right? So yeah, but what the old languages that have been there, for example, let me just give a simple snippet. Um, bookings.com, right?
Hmm.
Bookings.
Hmm. Yeah.
Bookings.com use a software called they use this software that is very outdated. It's called Pi. Wait a second. Um, whew, 1 second. I want to get the name of the software. Not Python. Uh, Wait a second. Sorry.
No, take your time. Take your time.
I'm trying to remember the software it uses that is really, really old. I forgot the name, but it starts from PY though. But it's not Python though. It starts from P, but it's a very old legacy software.
That's what they used to
Very
build
old
that.
legacy
That's what they used to
software.
build that site.
Yeah. For some things for the core business functionality, they use that.
Wow.
Just like using QBasic or something like that, but it's
Wow.
just very, very old.
And
Yeah,
that's a
to
big
build.
website. That's a popular website. So it doesn't matter what you
Yeah,
use to build it,
very.
as long as it's good, it don't matter, right?
Yeah, yeah. So some parts they just simply just keep updating some parts of the application as they build. They just switch to probably some other languages, but the old legacy code don't really change. So yeah, no matter the new languages that come up, those old codes they wrote will still be maintained 100%.
Okay, okay. We have 5 minutes for the stay. I can talk to you all day. You know, it only gives like 40 minutes. So let me see.
Yeah.
What advice do you have for up and coming developers? How can they get as good as you? Because it seems like you've taken years. You know all about video game programming. You know all about the front end development to software, applications, back end, your full stack. What advice you have for people that want to learn? Because you self-taught. That's very impressive, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. So I always tell developers upcoming and don't give up 100% because I've met developers that they do it for they have a goal, right? They want to make money, they want to get a job. So they go into software development because they probably hear that developers are paid 100K a year
Mhm,
and they're being paid well, right? So their dream is just to work at Google or some of this all these other companies, but they don't tend to develop themselves
mhm,
properly,
mhm,
right? They're all in for the money instead of in for the experience.
mhm,
And one of the things I always encourage people is just do it like as if you need this. Like it's a lifestyle. Development is a lifestyle because
mhm,
if developers just check most developers if they have life outside work. It's a few have life outside work, but it's a lifestyle for us. And if you want to make it your lifestyle, you have to make it a priority to fully understand every code, every line of code you're writing,
mhm,
because every line of code is important and it affects lives. For
mhm,
example, you're building a software for a fintech application, right? A fintech company, and you mistakenly write, you just write a very small code, right? That allows access to for a backdoor for people to simply make transfers. The company could lose millions of dollars in just 1 hour, under an hour, for under a minute though, right?
mhm,
So every line of code is important. So always understand everything that has been learned and has been taught also, and always put extra time into learning. Learning
mhm.
never ends, even for us. Even for me, though, I'm still learning every day.
Yeah,
I still pick up my laptop. I still attend conferences. I try to look at what I have, and I still learn. I
there you
still give
go.
my time, my extra time to learn. So learning never ends. So just don't stop learning and don't give up 100% because there's always light at the end of the tunnel because bugs will always keep coming, bro. The
Yeah.
best way to overcome the bugs is to ask questions, join a community. Very important to join a community. Without the community, it's going to be very, very super difficult for you. So join a community, ask questions when you're down. There are a lot of communities. There's ADP lists out there, right? Really helping people,
Mhm.
100%. And so you have mentors out there. Get a mentor that basically will put you through the journey. They'll take you through the journey to learn. And yeah,
Okay. All right. So,
you get to the point where you're satisfied and you're confident.
okay. So, if you can answer this question
Yeah, I'm done.
in one
Thanks.
minute, what would you be doing if you weren't a developer?
I'll be designing. I'll be
Designing what?
designing.
Video
Probably
games
be
or
a game
websites?
developer now. 100% be a game
Video games or
developer.
websites? Which one would you be? Which one would you
Yeah,
be doing?
100% video games, 100%
Do you still
video
play?
games.
You still play?
100% I do. 100% I do play
Okay.
games.
Okay. Okay.
100%. I love The Last of Us. The Last of Us is one of my best all-time games.
Really?
So yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
What?
yeah.
And who knows? You might develop the next great game. There's this guy that created this video game and basically retired. I think he worth like $16 million. And, I'll have to find the name of that game and I'll send it to you. But if people want to get in touch with you, how can they do so?
Oh, sorry, can you repeat that again?
If people
100%.
want to get in touch with you, how can they do so? How can people get in touch with you?
Okay, so I'm available on LinkedIn and
Mhm,
also on ADP list.
mhm,
So you could reach out to me on ADP list or LinkedIn if you have questions you want to ask, suggestions, or you basically stuck. You want some help, literally. Just hit me up on ADP list. I'm there to help you out. I'm a mentor on ADP
okay.
list. So yeah, I'm
Well,
there
there
to
you
help
go.
you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the great Emmanuel. He is a coding fanatic, as you can see. Hope you learned some great stuff from him. I definitely have. Thank you very much for joining today, sir.
Thank you very much, Byron.
So thanks for watching today's episode of the Corner Office Chronicles podcast. Again, my name is Byron Benton, and I am your host, affectionately known as Byron the Product Enthusiast. Please like, subscribe, and tune in. Until the next time, thanks for watching.